the start of this overtime. So what's interesting, East Perth starting to have that advantage with those points in the paint. They're now 36-28, 8-point advantage in the paint. 12-point advantage for the Wolves. Fast break points, however, they've only scored 4 fast break points in the second half. So East Perth's transition D has been elite. As Philpo is going to inbound it for the Eagles. Let's see how this one transpires. So here comes Lang, finds Philpo. Robertson slipped the screen. Philpo gets stuck there. Good D there from Davis. Maker, look inside. Roberts is demanding it as Turnage. Great defense from him, but Maker even better. Oh!
Maker just getting to the rack with ease. Lee Roberts did a great job to seal, just couldn't quite get there.
As Elliott finds Ballantyne. Turnage looks inside there to Davis. Feels like he's got the advantage here of Rice. Tries to go baseline on him. Ballantyne, 4-3. Huge 3 from Ballantyne. His first for the game.
Bang, bang. How many times have we seen that from Ballantyne this season so far? Huge shots down the stretch.
Roberts going to work on Davis. Loses it to Turnage. And here come the Wolves. Rare transition from them and loses it. Great job from Baker. How did he keep that alive? Davis, step in 3. Misses it. I tell you what, Eagles got away with one there.
Absolutely. The hustle play from Baker. Got a wide open look from CD, trailing his favourite shot in the game. Just didn't quite go in.
The Wolves still, their transition the second half, just been some of those poor passes. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Philpo loses it to Lang though. Lang finds Philpo. 4-3. He gets knocked down. And the referee says no. That's going to be very interesting to see as Philpo has words with the benches. Elliott seeks out that contact. Ballantyne back. Ballantyne 4-3. Can he do it again? No, he cannot.
No rebounders. Ball just fell into CJ's lap.
Turnage telling Davis, get on that block. Right back down. Ballantyne tries to go baseline on Roberts. Backs down Lang. Fade away Jay on the baseline. Good boxing out there from Ballantyne. And who's that going to be on? So that is on Roberts. He has fouled out of this one.
Lee Roberts just caught in the crosshairs with Ballantyne. Ballantyne smiling about it, maybe knows he got away with something there, but Roberts will sit the rest of this game. Like we said, that 4th foul in the 4th quarter would be huge if this went into overtime, and here we are.
You can see the fans are not happy with the missed call from their perception.
Yeah, East Perth not stoked.
What I'm fascinated by, sorry to cut you off, Jade, where Philpo doesn't draw the foul, yet if it wasn't a foul, why is he not given a flop warning?
I agree. And look, Philpo has been known to flop in the past on shots, right? But he also does draw a lot of fouls on 3-point shots too. So, I mean, we're kind of behind the scene here. So we're kind of behind the action, so it's a bit hard for us to see on that one. But I think the equity of calling the last shot of the game to go into overtime and not calling that, I can understand why East Perth are upset.
So Davis, 1 of 2. 2-point lead now for the Wolves. Lang bring it up here for the Eagles. Finds Maker. Davis switches on to him. They're going to probably switch everything. Do not want to give him any space. Maker rises up. Misses that one. And good boxing out there from Ballantyne on Rice. Elliott kicks ahead there to Turnage. Turnage just wants to do it himself. Can't finish, but Davis keeps it alive on the offensive boards.
What an unusual tip-in that was. Just over the top of his head, managed to sink it.
I thought it was another transition play that the Wolves might have missed an opportunity there as Rice loses it to Ballantyne. Ballantyne throws it up to Turnage. Down!
CJ Turnage with the yam from Ballantyne.
6-point lead now to the Joondalup Wolves. All them with the momentum, but I don't know about you. We've been around the game long enough. You see the momentum to one team at the start of an overtime does not mean they're the one that's going to go in for the win. It's only a 6-point game with 2.5 minutes still to go.
Absolutely. It's like you said, you know, calling a timeout was perfect by the coaching staff at East Perth because you just got to shut that down. 2.5 minutes, 6 points. That's only 3 layups or 2 3-point shots. So both teams very much in this right now, but the momentum is certainly in Joondalup's favour.
What's also interesting, and it's very rare at away games, where the momentum's with the Wolves and the crowd is with the Wolves as well. I feel like the Green Army, they've come out in numbers tonight at Morley Sport and Rec, and they are giving them some energy that they need.
Oh, absolutely, and we saw that last week. 2,100 tickets sold down at HBF Arena, and they've made the trip to Morley Rec as well, and just giving them that kick that they may have needed.
So 2:26, as both teams are going to be coming out of the Yamey timeout, and I mean that loss of Roberts, it's like they're losing that inside presence as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to go through Giannis, as you see Giannis has checked in. Would love to see him maybe get on that low block, try and force Wolves to collapse on him, because he is able to find the players. And you know what I'd love to see? Giannis on that block and maybe a 45 cut from the weak side by Maker, because he just needs to use his athleticism.
Absolutely.
And Rice nearly got over. As Maker rises up for the 3, misses that one, and Baker with the boards.
Missing those shots at the worst possible time, but he's been brilliant tonight.
This is a huge possession for the Wolves. As Valentine finds Davis. Elliott on the wing, look inside to Turnage. Baker to Valentine with the long to that short. Turnage, right place, right time. That's the right time to airball it.
Tell you what, that's fell right into his lap. Very unfortunate for East Perth Eagles, but 8-point lead now.
Defensively, I loved how the Wolves have just continued to switch on anything. As Giannis backing down, Baker rises up, gets the 2, first basket.
Good footwork there.
Second basket, I should say, for East Perth in the overtime. As Philpo fouls him and sends Elliott to the line. And it's probably not somewhat of a bad foul the way Elliott can be from the free throw line.
Yeah, look, I think East Perth do need to get a bit desperate now. I mean, we're at 130, still, like we said, only 2 shots difference, but at the same time, if you can get a cheap little steal, which we've seen Nick Philpo do in the backcourt time and time again, it would be a massive thing for East Perth Eagles.
And rolls in. Davis and Elliott, the former Senators, enjoyed that one.
Young fans on the baseline have a word to say to Ethan Elliott, along with President Mia Philpo.
And knocks down both. Huge free throws there. So Lang for the Eagles brings it up here. Hands off there to Maker. Giannis gives off there to Rice. Once again, just completely hounded. Giannis 4-3. Can't make that, and Elliott with the boards, and you can see them trying to seek him out as Elliott in transition doesn't force up the 2. Smart play from him.
Does not need to force it. They can just move the ball and play aggressive.
And you can see the Eagles, they're risking it with Elliott when the ball's in his hand. As Baker, 7 seconds on the shot clock, goes baseline, rises up, gets hit, sticks with it. Great defense. Turnage once again. Right place, right, and you just see Coach Morrell, big smile on his face, is like, how does this keep happening?
So unfortunate for the East Perth Eagles as Nick goes up for 2. Massive bucket there. Game will play on.
It's Elliott. It's just him and Lang between him and the hoop, and he tries to cut the 3 in total connection. The referee's like, yeah, I'm not falling for that one.
Yeah, Ethan Lloyd not having that, but Ethan Elliott making his case. Battle of the Ethans.
It was a fraction a little bit earlier, I reckon he could have got it. So Elliott to the line for 2. It's a 8-point lead at the moment for the Wolves.
Yeah, they've come out in this overtime and really just played ball, and to be honest, had a bit of luck on their side too. 2 possessions just fell into CJ Turnage's lap for layups. Fortunately, that's the way the game goes.
Is it a weird thing to say they look fresh?
They do. The energy, man. And I think, like you said, it's testament to the Joondalup crowd. Look at them. They're all up. They're all going, giving them energy.
Baker rises up with a 3, misses that one. We've got 30 seconds to go, and I think this is it. Baker try to find Turnage, though. That's off the Eagles. So 9-second difference between game clock and shot clock. How do the Eagles play this out? Are they going to foul him again, send him to the line, or are they going to raise the white flag?
I think we're at 10 points now. They'll keep fighting into the end, but there's no point fouling. what an incredible game from both sides. Both games, the women's game and the men's game, very exciting.
As Elliott does what Elliott does best, gets into the paint. What a game from Ethan Elliott and from the Joondalup Wolves in this overtime, as Maker gets a basket at the end. And Ballantyne's going to dribble this one out. And what a game there from Joondalup. It's one of those things where both teams deserved the win, but Ethan Elliott led the Joondalup Wolves from start to finish.
Absolutely. Ethan Elliott was massive in that one. He ended up with 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. CJ Turnage, 24, 5 and 2. And then you've got Joey Baker, 25 and 6. So you got Caleb Davis, 24, 8 and 6. So 4 guys dropping 20 points or more. And then, even from their 5th starter, Damon Ballantyne, a massive game off the box score in terms of his defensive presence, containing Rice and other impactful plays.
And you'll see the teams in front of us, and what is going to be presented at the end of this game is the Anzac Round Medal. It's awarded to the player adjudged to have best displayed the Anzac spirit by the referees and coaches. The Anzac spirit can be described as someone who displays the qualities including endurance, courage, ingenuity, good humour and mateship. But the spirit of Anzac is not confined to the battlefield. It lives in the schools, on the sport fields, in fact all over the great countries of Australia and New Zealand. Now, we thought Leach in the women's game got interviewed at the end of the game. We thought she got the medal, and it wasn't. It was her star import in Goodlet. Who from these sides is going to win the Anzac medal?
Look, I think it can go to a number of guys. Joondalup really came out tonight. Such an emotional overtime loss for East Perth Eagles, but I think in terms of the medal, I think it's either going to CJ Turnage or Ethan Elliott. I've got to give it to Ethan Elliott, who actually had 27 points to finish the game, He just was aggressive from the get-go and just really made East Perth pay for their mistakes.
So the Wolves move to 3-2 on the season. East Perth fall to 1-3. But Coach Philpo and the Eagles, with no Young, they've got to take a lot of positives out of this one.
Absolutely. Look, East Perth can go out holding their head high, even though they did have that game until the very end. Not having their leader, their captain in Taylor Young, is a massive downfall. But they were able to fill that gap and play really, really well.
I think you saw the way the last few possessions for the Eagles in that at the end of the fourth quarter in overtime. That's where they missed Young. They missed that leader on the floor that was just able to get them a set. It just seemed like they seemed a little bit lost.
Absolutely, and Joondalup just took care of business with East Perth. Probably looked a little bit rushed, flustered, and not really equipped for that situation.
As you can see, most East Perth fans left the building. I don't see one Green Army member have left. They're going to enjoy the ride up the freeway back to Joondalup because they're going to enjoy that one.
Absolutely.
All right. Jaden, thanks for your time tonight here at Sport Morley Rec Centre. I'm Josh Van Camp, and congratulations to the Wolves winning 108-98 in the Anzac round clash between the Joondalup Wolves and the East Perth Eagles. We'll sign off. Enjoy the NBL1 West action tomorrow. Perry Lakes v the Buccaneers. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome out to the center of the court, Rusty Shearer, who is the president of the Festival of the RSL Celebrants, to present the Anzac Round Medal. Please come around the court. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mia and the East Perth Eagles for the invitation tonight. Thank you very much. Anzac was the name given to the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps soldiers who landed on the little peninsula 100 Yeah, that's the name. Really?